Good morning from Melbourne, Australia. Good evening to friends in North America, and hello to anyone watching on replay. My name is Nancy Hetker, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Australia. And today I have a very exciting announcement for you. We have been sitting on this since on stage in March, but Stampin' Up! Is introducing hot foiling, which is amazing. It is different from heat embossing to get a metallic effect on our cards and projects. And so I'm going to walk you through what I know so far. I've had my hot foiling machine kit for a week and a half or so now, and I've done a little bit of playing with it. I'm going to do some more with you today. I've had a lot of things going on, including, as Paul is mentioning, our son and his partner Emma arrived in town on Saturday, so we've been spending some time with them, and will throughout the month of July, and then my parents will also be coming in about a week, and we'll be here for 5 or so weeks. So I will be in and out in doing my regular lives, but I am here today, so let's get started. Let me start by showing you the machine. So if you have seen hot foiling before and seen hot foiling products, this may look very familiar. I am told, because I haven't, well, let me give you a little bit of background, and for those of you who don't care, just gloss over this. This is a Stampin' Up! Branded product, but it was developed in conjunction with Spellbinders. Spellbinders will have their own release of this product, but Stampin' Up! Is first to the market with this. Stampin' Up! Demonstrators were the first to be able to buy it. Our customers will be able to buy it starting on the 10th, so just a couple days from now. There is a limited supply of these machines. If this is like really rocking your boat and you really want it, order it now. As soon as you're able to. They expect them to go out of stock, and they expect that they will not be able to restock them until close to the end of the year. That's just kind of the supply chain. That's the agreement that they worked out with Spellbinders. Stampin' Up! Releases it first. Now Spellbinders is working on their inventory to make their release, and then Stampin' Up! Will get to have their restock. So the coordinating products that get used with this are different supply chain, and if those go out of stock, they will resupply much faster. So if a particular bundle of products that you want has gone out of stock, you should be able to, but you have your machine, you should be able to get it much sooner than the end of the year, in a normal type of restock situation. Anyhow, okay, so this works. Well, first of all, let me tell you what there is. There's a pad here that you put the platform on. There's another silicone pad here. These are the heat protectors. This is where once you've done your foiling and you've got a hot die here, you move it over to this pad to cool. This is a magnetic tool that picks up the die, and I will show you how to do that. This platform goes into your Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine with your materials there, and gets run through, and I will show you how that works. I will tell you, I have to tell you this, these things all come together. You'll see that you can buy extras of these, you can buy another one of these, but in your initial setup, all of this comes together with your power unit. And it's also bundled with an online class that's offered through Facebook on how to use it and how to do some interesting techniques. And there's a whole supply list for that as well. Anyway, usually that class would be $53 Australian, I believe. But it's included, so you'll see it listed separately. Don't purchase it separately. Right now it comes bundled with the product. Okay. Where was I going with that? Oh, I know. So the warranty is 1 year on this product, provided that you use it with Stampin' Up products. So could you use it with hot foil dies from other companies? I'm certain that one could. I'm telling you that Stampin' Up says that voids the warranty. I'm sharing that information. Do with it what you will. Stampin' Up says it has to go through their Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. I'm not telling you it won't work in other machines. I am telling you it will not work in a Big Shot. And I'm calling that one out explicitly because Stampin' Up used to sell the Big Shot until, again, they went out and did their own machine. And I will show you exactly, because up until now, everything we've had that works in the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine has worked in a Big Shot. And you go, really? Why not? Come on. It's because it is just slightly too wide. And we're talking, I don't know, 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch. It will not go through. So if you only have a Big Shot, because you bought one back when that's what we did, and they were, and it's been working for you, it will not work with this. I am so sorry. Yeah, so those are my provisos with this. Let me get this plugged in. So to go through the machine when you're actually foiling, you have to unplug it. And one of the innovations with this machine is that it's a mag release plug, and it's right here at the front on the side, so you don't have to keep plugging in and unplugging it some hidden place back there. So I'm just going to slide this off to the side while it heats. The initial heating takes about 6 minutes, they say. But we'll hear a little, I at least will hear a little tone. I don't know if my microphone will pick it up. So that's doing its heating thing. Let me show you some of the stuff that goes with. Okay, so the Metallic Magic Craft Class. Like I said, if you buy this, it is currently bundled with this, and it gives you, these are the additional supplies that they want you to have. You can do some substitutions. But you'll want, yeah, like if you don't have or want to buy the particular designer series paper, you can swap different designer series paper. But then it gives you the essential supplies and the cutting diagrams for each of the projects that are going to get made, and then all of the instructions for the cards that get made. And this is to follow along with the Facebook class. Let's show you some stuff. So this is one of the bundles that I bought. This is Butterfly Flight, and it's the hot foiling dies, one of the 2 hot foiling dies bundles for that they use in the class. So that's one reason I got this, but the other is I also really like butterflies. This one does not have a coordinating stamp set. Let me show you the dies. This is the hot foiling die. You'll see it's a little bit more matte than our regular outline dies, or even, the regular die cutting dies. This does not cut. This just is for the foil. The rest of these are cutting dies, so you can hot foil and then cut out all of the butterflies in one go. And then we also have, instead of stamp set with that, it's got these blending masks. So I'm thinking we're going to play with these a little bit here as we go. Yeah. And they're like all of our masks, they're numbered and they have this notch here to help line up. But we'll see how we get further down the road here. We may do that on a separate live another day. See how deep in the weeds we get here. So that's the butterfly flight one. And then these are the classic greetings, which is the other one that they use in that class. And it's got celebrate, get well, thank you, happy birthday, and thinking of you. And so they've got the hot foil dies, and then they've got the outline dies, so you can layer them up together and have that nice cutout background behind, which is pretty cool. And then here we go. Botanical Glow bundle. This one is hot foil die and the stamp, and this is what they call I think loosely coordinated is what they call it. So it's the same type of feel, same type of image, but it is not going to stamp right on top of, even if it were this way, the way it's supposed to be, it doesn't stamp right on top. It coordinates with it, so it's offset, and you can offset it and do it multiple times. You can stamp this and fussy cut it, and do all kinds of things with it. But I thought that was really pretty, so we'll do a little play with that as well. I have it on the stamp positioner, but it will also go, I believe, here on one of these massive blocks, and depending on what we're doing, I may move it to that. We will see. So those are the ones that I bought to get started. There are quite a few more dies and bundles available. Some of them are standalone and some are bundled. I've got there's one that's just a background of Swiss dots. That one's in my shopping cart to buy probably later today. And there's another one that I put in there that I decided I wanted to go ahead and invest in. And they are going to do more. So if you don't see something that's like the perfect thing that you want right now, in a couple months they might release it. And then you also have to buy the foil to go with it. And right now we've got 3 colors. Gold, they call this light pink, which makes me wonder if they're going to have a darker pink at some point. And silver. Hi, Mom. I see you're here. And Wergie, thanks for being here. And yeah, so this is still heating up. What else can I tell you about this? They have recommended, well, you can foil on anything that you want to, in terms of paper. They feel that the best results are, the smoother the paper, the better the results. So they recommend our 2-tone cardstock. They've been recommending basic white or white willow. And you can use the traditional cardstock. You may hear them refer to it as milled cardstock, but there are traditional solid core. What we think of as just regular old cardstock. And I am going to try that today. I haven't tried that yet. Let me show you, while we're waiting for this to heat up a little bit more. I wanted to be able to handle it without it being hot at the beginning, so now we have to wait for that to heat up. So this is the Olive Flutter stamp set that I stamped in Versamark and heat embossed with silver embossing powder. Because I know there's some of you out there saying, okay, I already do heat embossing to get silver and gold and copper, and why should I invest in this hot foil machine? Fair enough. You may decide not to. This is this retired peach pie two-tone cardstock, which is what the hot foil butterflies here are also done on. Did you hear the beep? Now it's hot. So I am going to put, where's it here? Bring this, slide this back in. That's blinking. I'm going to put my die on there. And I'm going to push that button. And when it beeps again and the yellow stops flashing, we'll be ready to go. So until then, let's talk about this a little bit. So the heat embossing is raised up and the foil is kind of pressed in a bit. And it is a slightly different look. This is very crisp, polished. Yeah, they're just slightly different looks, and I think in the end you'll be able to do different things with these than you can with that. So, yeah, so that's the first foiling I ever did. It came out perfectly. There is a little bit of a learning curve, I think, in something, because this is the second one I did, and it picked up, you can see from the grid there, it picked that up, and I'm not quite sure what I did to cause that. But you can see it's the hot foiling, and then I stamped the leaves over it. And any ink that got on the foil wipes right off. I didn't even bother trying to actively wipe it, in fact. But you can see it's not masking it or dulling it really at all. Up there, it clicked, it beeped. And we're ready to go. So I should cut some foil for what I want. I'm going to use some gold. And I think I found that way worked better. And this is what I'm going to try on, as soon as I find where I hit it, there we go, on our milled cardstock. Now they did tell us to use a bigger piece than you want for your finished piece, and cut it down, just because what we're going to do is we're going to put our foil on here now and then put this on top, and you can position the foil, but then you can't really see where the die is. So we're going to put that on like so, and that on top, and then bring in and then these two go on top. And then bring in the cut and emboss. They said go slowly and don't reverse. So I went a little fast, but we'll see how it comes out. And it's just slightly warm on the bottom of that. I'm not quite, maybe if I did a lot in a row, it would heat up more. But I didn't have any problem picking it up off of there. And we'll take that off. And we'll take this off. And then this has a magnet here, and it just picks that up and puts it over there to cool. And then if you're going to want to foil again, you just plug it in and it starts the reheat process. Now we get to play with this. See, and again, it's got, you'll see here, we just peel this off. I need to do some investigating to find out why it's picking all that up, because I can't go much shorter on the foil because that's where the die is. So I need to figure out what I'm doing wrong there. And then eventually I'm hoping they're going to have like a solid foiling plate that we can take this and put it on and get the negative or the positive on there. So I'm kind of holding on to these for right now in the hopes that I'll be able to use them again someday. But yeah, isn't that beautiful? And this is on the milled cardstock, the regular cardstock. I think it works great. I don't know what people were talking about. I think it's fantastic. So I am not going to stamp on top of that. I am going to stamp on I'm going to stamp on some crumb cake, I think. Okay, so now, did you hear that beep? It's now heated up. That initial heat up is a lot shorter because it was already warm. Okay, I'm going to bring in my stamp positioner. Everything's piled up off camera here. Let's see. I should do more foiling, but I'm going to do this. Let's try it tone on tone here. Remember, the stamp positioner is great when you use it the right way, and that would not be the right way with my paper. What do I want to do? Oh my goodness, haven't used this very much either. Can you tell? It's going to be how it is. Yeah. I'm selling this today, aren't I? There we go. That's better. So what I see is that if I do some cutting, cut this down and cut this out, I can do some layering up. And let's see what we might do here. Everything is in a big messy stack off camera here, so you can't quite see what I'm doing. But here's a happy birthday. Put that on there. Get that heating up. We've got another piece of early espresso. And some more gold. I gotta put some more foil on my shopping list here. You do get nice step-by-step instructions on how to use it, and there's videos that Stampin' Up has done and other demonstrators too who are a little more pro than I am. What if I taped down the foil so it didn't curl at the ends? I would worry about the tape. Foil first. And put this back in. So you can see this is really pretty easy to use. You just need to have everything set up. Oh, and if you see that some of the foil transferred onto those plates, that's fine, I am told. And move the hot dye off. Plug them back in case we do some more. That away. They said these, I imagine like our regular cut and emboss plates, eventually these could warp. But yeah, they said if that's just like your cutting plates getting cut, that's just, it doesn't affect performance. It's just cosmetic. That's what we're trying to say here. Yeah, so this one I did the other way. Let's see. So I'm going to bring this back in. And our regular cutting plates. Seeing that heated up even faster. That's really manky tape, isn't it? Where'd you? I'm looking at your comment now. I have like zero experience with hot foil, so I don't know anything, Wargie. I will say that I will just repeat that Stampin' Up says that you void your year-long warranty on their product if you use other products with it. You do with that as you will. So, I don't know if we're going to get into actually making a card here today, but this is my vision. What time is it? 10:30. So, okay, so let's spend a little time. I'm going to unplug this. I think another day we're going to do the butterflies and play with the masks. Today, let's work with this one. Bring in my trimmer. And another bit of crumb cake. Okay, let's try that for a card base. And here's one I played yesterday, and this is what I did. This one's just flat except for the so I know I'm gonna have to do some of that. I'm thinking, nothing like designing on the fly. I have a feeling I cut this wrong. Yeah, I did. Okay, that was totally stuffed up, but let's go with it anyway. since I stuffed it up. I am going to go with it. So, what's happening in your neck of the woods, people? Since I'm going to be here for a little bit cutting this. Oh, and apparently I'm going to do a terrible job of that too. Let's slow it all down. Reggie says, no worries, I think I'll be experimenting. I'll void the warranty after the first year because I'm sure SC will bring out more colored foils. A blue would be nice. Yes, a blue would be nice. I'm wondering about like a red and a green for Christmas. So last night, Emma and Andrew joined Glenn and myself at our local pub for trivia night. And we had fun. We did pretty poorly, which was really embarrassing because they actually were doing a bunch of American themed stuff for 4th of July. And most of the American-based stuff we got right, not all of it. And actually, we got all of the Aussie current affairs stuff right, because I read the paper and I listen to the news. But it was fun, and they want to go. They do that in Colorado. They go and do bar trivia, so they want to do it again. They had fun. Yeah, so we'll see when we get back there. Yeah, it was chilly this morning, yesterday morning too. So the kids and then my parents, they're staying on the 51st floor of a building in the CBD, and they woke up in the clouds yesterday morning. It was kind of a misty morning, and it's foggy it was foggy this morning. It's sunny now. Sorry, you can't see what I'm doing when I'm pulled back like that. But the previous morning they woke up to hot air balloons floating above. So that was kind of cool. And they spent Monday most of the afternoon with Nick. She had a whole list of places she wanted to take them, and I think they hit most of them in one afternoon. And yeah, we have to make plans for the rest of the week. Yeah, I don't know what it's like. I hope that heat wave has settled down for you guys in the States. That sounded not fun at all. we're supposedly having a warm winter compared to normal, but let me tell you, when you wake up and it's 6 degrees Celsius outside, it's still pretty darn crisp. I think it was a little cooler than that when we went to the gym yesterday morning at 7 a.m. But we made it there and back. This is about to fall off. I've cut it too aggressively. Train trip is, we leave here the 20th. So, we start out by flying to Darwin and spending a day there. And that's, that's like flying from where you are, Paula, up north down to Florida. It's going to be warm compared to here, which is why people go there this time of year. In the summer you wouldn't want to go, although I suppose some people do, and of course people live there year round, just like in Florida. And then as we move south, it will get more and more like what we're experiencing here in Melbourne. Yeah, I might see the next time I do this. I have an e-cutter. Shh, it's not a Stampin' Up thing. But I might stick this on there. I have a brother scan and cut, and I might stick this on there and see how it does. Cutting out nicely. I imagine it would do a good job. Especially if I did it with a little more contrast. But this is just a first play type of thing. Gladys, thanks for joining me. We're just experimenting with the new hot foil system that becomes available to customers on the 10th. And I was reminding people that if they want one, they should grab one because supply is limited, and restock on the machines themselves, the devices, the hot foiling system itself is likely to be late in the year. Not a matter of weeks, but perhaps more like months, if they sell out. So And they do expect them to sell out because when it went on early release sale for demonstrators, it sold briskly. So, okay, so there's my Fast and Furious like I said, it's going to be okay even though it's cut to a funny size. I can live with that. Okay, now I moved everything and can't find it. I moved everything so I have this big, wide open space to work in and show you everything. But, there we go. Go with these. Oh, I've got a couple places where it's just barely hanging on. So I don't mind fussy cutting. I don't. When I'm on camera, when I'm on live with you guys, I feel like it's probably the most boring thing for you to watch almost ever. So I try not to do that to you very often. There. Okay. I'm working without grid paper. But that's okay. I just did all of my alternate projects for the June Paper Pumpkin Kit, and those will be on my blog starting today's post is the kit as designed by the concept artist, but starting with my blog post after this one, it will be all my alternative projects, and they used a million of these itty-bitty mini dimensionals too, so I feel like I've just spent the last few days doing nothing but picking off these little backings. And despite my trying to put them all in the bin, my floor is littered with them. And I have found some various other places as well. I want that one to be sure it's on. Like so. I don't know why I like the linen thread better than the crumb cake on this, but I do. So that's what we're going with. We've got a house around the corner. I know you guys can't hear this, but I can. That has had some terrible, it's an older house, and it's had some terrible trouble with, I think, probably water in the foundations causing issues. But they've like had to peel back their whole outer wall and dig down, and whatever they're doing to mediate things this week has involved a lot of concrete grinding noise, which yeah, when I'm not on with you guys, I have my AirPods in a lot listening to music, so I don't have to hear that shrill grinding, whining noise. Okay. Let's get this on. I think what I'm going to do is bring in some tear and tape. And then it can just lay across where I want it. And put a mini glue dot right in there and add that right where I want it. And I'm going to bring in envelope. In the US, you do not have, you see here in Australia and in Europe, yeah, we still don't have quite enough. How much space we have around the card, I know. Let me pull out one of these. In the US size cards, this is one from Paper Pumpkin, there isn't nearly the amount of space. There is a bit more this way, but this way there isn't. So I know that couldn't happen, although your card is wider to begin with, but you'd still need to trim some of that. So I am going to go ahead . I think I am just going to go ahead and trim these, and then I don't have to think about it again. Go. What do you think? I'm pretty happy with that, I think. Yeah. So, let me bring this back in for you to see it. It is very cool. I hope if you haven't purchased one yet, you will jump on and get that, because it is very fun and it's really cool to see the different things. I'm looking forward to doing that class that comes with it to learn more and figure out how to best use it so that I don't get that overfoiling. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'm leaving it on here too long before I put it through the machine. I don't know. I'll need to do some watching of some other people and see if they have the same issue. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed that, and I am likely to be here next week, but I'm not promising. So double check. I will post on this Facebook page if I'm not going live, or if I am going live. So I will see you the next time, whenever that is. Thanks for joining me today. Bye-bye.